Good evening. It is Linda Stacy of Living Blueprints, and I am on tonight to do a commuter version of Facebook Live and YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel so that the algorithm helps other people find it, and so that I can name my own URL. When I get to a certain number of subscribers, I can actually claim the /Living Blueprints at the end of the URL. So that would be fabulous. So tonight I'm going to talk to the audience as though you are the 27-year-old version of me, having moved from California to New England. And this was more than 20 years ago. And I had a commute in California, and I had a very different commute in New England. So there's some things in common in terms of how we arrive at work if we don't do this very well. Even if we do it really well, it can still, just having that, however long it is, of frustration, aggravation behind the wheel, on a train, multiple modes of transportation, depending on where you live, it can really equal up to not your best self when you get into the office. And then you have to do that all at the end of the day, and you're just drained when it's all over. I remember being on a train once, and a guy was saying, I heard him and his friend were talking about, my wife found cigarettes underneath my car seat, and he's like, I'm so stressed on the way home, and I'm hungry, and it's just the end of an awful day. And every audience that I talk to, when I say, what are the things that are getting in the way of the awesome things they'd like in their life, commute is always in that list too. So it's a big deal for you, those of you who have moved on and are entrepreneurs and working and living in your homes. Good for you. I've got to imagine that there are times when you are on planes though. So I've got all sorts of things in front of me. Again, you are the 27-year-old version of me, having moved from California to New England. So I'm going to say some things that New Englanders are going to say, obvious, that's so obvious. Not everything is obvious if you didn't live here your whole life. My brother, when he moved to Minnesota, 10 years before I moved to New England, he had washer fluid in his car that froze, and he couldn't drive his car or use certain aspects of it, so he had to he had to tow his car to a covered garage so that it could thaw out overnight. They don't give you a manual when you move to a new region. So anyway, that is my come from tonight. So maybe I should start then with the actual physical gear. When you move to New England, having coats are like the number of ways that you can say snow in Alaska. I have more coats than I would have ever imagined. There were years I did not have a coat growing up in Southern California. So right now I'm going to show you the winter coat. I don't have them all out. Of course you need a scarf. Don't go without a scarf. I did that for a long time. There are days when you need it to cover your mouth and your eyes because the wind is out of control, and you thought you wore eye makeup to work, but it's no longer there by the time you actually get into the office. I have this awesome coat that my in-laws bought for me years ago. I'm still wearing it. I am someone who will continue to wear a coat to death, which, Jen, I can see you're watching. My ski coats I'll wear for 10 years. Same thing with this type of thing. I've had it for more than 10 years. And I love the fur. The fur keeps the wind out. I mean, there's a reason that animals, that live in these cold climates have fur around their eyeballs. It's amazing for the wind and for the hair. If you care about your hair, you might want a hood. I have a hood on almost every coat I wear year round because there's always wind in Boston, and I happen to care how my hair looks. If you don't care, then it doesn't matter. But speaking about hair, it took me years to realize this one. Even with the hood, I would have these like creepy hairs that would like fly into the front of my face, and not only would it be kind of annoying because it's irritating having really cold wind in your face and then also like have hair brushing things. I now use, and of course I picked a clear one, but this is those little tiny clips. I don't have a lot of hair, so I can pull like almost all of this front hair like back with a little tiny clip, and that keeps it from like creeping out the side of the hood and into my face. I've always got these. I've always got bobby pins. Again, I care that my hair actually looks the way that I left the house, when I get to work. And I do, so I sit on this train for some period of time. I don't know, it's 40 minutes on average, and then I walk from North Station to my building, which is about 7/10 of a mile. It takes me usually 15 minutes or so, and I never get on another form of public transport. I don't care what the weather is, but there is no way that I will get on the T at that point because that's even more maddening. So I'm always walking, rain or shine, whatever. Plus I get a little exercise, but I have this sometimes 50-pound bag on my back. Now, I don't know how I can measure this in terms of exercise, but this bag has been awesome. I'm gonna put who they are in the comments. I've had people run me down in the train station asking me the name of the people who produce this bag. I've used a lot of bad bags over the year. I would go into yoga and I'd have like my yoga mat and all my like stuff that I'd have to take a shower. I mean, again, people in California do not understand this. You want to go to the gym before work, you just throw your gym shit in the back of the car, right? You don't do that if you're going downtown. All of your things are on your person. It's like you're getting on an airplane. You have to be able to carry everything with you. So those were times back in the day when I would have like one bag for my clothes and all my shower stuff, and then the yoga mat. It would be like 40 pounds of just misery. I don't do that anymore. I do other things. I've tested everything. This bag is awesome. It's by Cote&Ciel. Again, I'm going to put that in the comments. C-O-T-E. It's French. Cote&Ciel. And this is an expensive bag, but I've had it now for probably 5 years. It's just under $300. I asked for it for Christmas. It's one of those things that it's like the coat. I can wear it for 10 years. I'm hoping that I'll be having this bag for 10 years, although I'm not sure I'll still be commuting into the city after another 5 years goes by. But anyway, I love this thing because I have my computer in the back of it and it's completely protected. And then I also have things like my planner pad and a notebook. And you might say, why are you carrying all that shit back and forth? Well, I work from home 2 days a week. I love the freedom that I have to be able to actually get work done for my business, Living Blueprints, on the train. So this is what I deal with in order to do that. It's the give and take, if you will. And then the front part is super cool. This top part is kind of like, it's very alternative. You can stick anything in here. Think about like bike helmet you could stick in here. You can stick shoes in here. Right now I've got like a menagerie of crazy things. I mean, I'm carrying way too much crap. But some binder things that I wanted to read. And I've got like all my lunch containers, my drink container. As long as I keep this upright, if there's still liquid in it, by the time I get into the office, it will stay like that. But this is a fantastic bag. There were years where I was dragging a bag, you know, like on wheels, like you do when you're traveling in an airplane. It's fine for airplane, not good, especially in Boston where the no roads are clean, flat. There's, you know, various brick and rock. I walked through Faneuil Hall through part of my walk, so it was more stressful and like almost more irritating on my body to pull that thing than it is to have this balanced on both shoulders. So, and also if you ever are carrying or dragging bags, my fingers are always touching when they are around that bar, the top of the bag. You'll see people drop their bags all the time in the airport because something snags on something or whatever, they weren't paying attention. My fingers are always touching so that I never drop the bag, because there were a million times when I dropped it in the middle of the street or something, because, you know, it would hit a bump and it would fall. So if you guys drag bags, you probably know what I'm talking about when it just falls and you didn't mean for it to fall. But along the lines of the containers, this particular coffee mug, oh my God, you can flip this thing completely upside down. So the trains in New England do not have cup holders. So if you want to do anything and have coffee, it's really irritating because you got to hold the coffee upright the whole time because you don't want it to spill. You don't want it to spill on any person. You don't want it to spill on the floor and then like go backwards and forwards. This thing can go upside down every way. It's the Contigo, and I will put that in there too, Contigo. But when you go to open the opening and there's hot liquid in there the first time, it will like spurt in your face. So you learn that lesson pretty quick, and you actually put your mouth on it and then you open it so that it spurts in your mouth. It's kind of like when the yogurt lid top opens and you get that spurt of yogurt. Kind of irritating if you're not expecting it. So I love this thing, and it's great for airplanes too. So you bring it to the airport empty, and like I'll give it to the flight attendant with my tea bag, and then like I can actually like not worry about minding the cup, because I think like one airline has cup holders in it these days, which is kind of crazy. I hope more of them get cup holders. But I love this. I don't actually bring coffee on the train as much anymore because I'm often having my breakfast in this thing, which I kind of drink along the way. Always, there were years where I'd not eat before I got to the office, and that also was a recipe for disaster. So now there's always something in me, either while I'm riding or before I leave or something like that. It's just not fair to me or the people that I have to work with. Some people can get away with going longer because they don't need to eat in the morning. I'm not one of those people. For me, if it's like 2 or 3 hours before anything's in my system, not a good idea. Another thing I was going to say about coffee, Linda, 27-year-old Linda, who's now commuting now in New England instead of California. If you're gonna get coffee at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, Choose the one closest to the office. Do not try to walk 7/10 of a mile holding the coffee with the bag on your back, dealing with the wind in your face and all these other things. It's just super irritating. Go as close as you can to the office to pick up your coffee if you're gonna do that. My office actually has decent coffee now, so I'm no longer buying it at one of the many, many places I could buy it near me. What else? I also recently got the most fantastic headphones. I'm sure that I am like way late on this, but these are Bose headphones, and I can use it as a phone too. You know, it's got the mouthpiece. And these things that look like Star Trek ears, they fit in really nicely, so they're noise canceling. I do also always have earplugs in my bag in case someone super annoying is sitting near me, or someone's clipping their toenails, or it's amazing what people, not toenails, they will clip their fingernails on the train though. It's crazy what people will do on the train. And some people will kind of be annoying because they know they're being annoying and they like to irritate people, which is even more fun. But anyway, these things are great in terms of noise cancellation, and they fit in your ears. And so when I'm walking, I used to use the crappy ones that come with your iPhone or whatever. When you're walking and your head is inside the hood, and there's no jostling sound anymore. It's just so quiet and wonderful. It's just so fantastic. So these two I asked for Christmas. So like the bigger things sometimes that I don't want to pay for, I will ask for Christmas. I just got these. I absolutely love them. I felt like there was another big plus for these that I realized. I just love that they sit in my ear so comfortably, and I'm not like minding them while I'm dealing with the walk. Another thing for me, and I know various people, I used to wear a cross bag in addition to the backpack so that I could get my wallet out easily or get, you know, things that I might need. That wasn't working anymore. I could actually begin to feel that on the one shoulder, and I would go back and forth, but I mean, I'm probably gonna have to be going to a chiropractor my entire life for having commuted this way for a really long time. But anyway, I've worked really hard in the last 3 to 4 years to really hold my shoulders back when I'm holding the backpack, because you can do this. Plus it's cold. I mean, your kind of a natural inclination is to do this, and I've got the bag right here. Very uncomfortable. So I stopped wearing the crossbody bag. I am carrying a bag, which probably weighs too much right now, but at least I can move it back and forth to various, you know, use my bicep, put it here. I can also put it on my shoulder if I want to, and I can reach and grab things easily. So that's what I'm doing, again, because I need my wallet. I need my wallet because it's got my ID to get into the building, and I don't want to take the backpack off to do all of that. I know that some of you can relate to all of this. My gloves, oh, I should grab those. I'll put in what they are, but the gloves that I have right now are fantastic because they keep my hands warm and I can use my phone. They actually they don't have one of those funky things on the tip that I've seen that don't really work on some, but these, they actually can, you know, my phone works while I've got the glove on, which is fantastic. So those I got for Christmas too. These are the awesome things that I got for Christmas. What else did I want to say? In terms of food, yeah, I covered that. I covered hair. I'm curious to know what other people have done over the years. Yes, so Gail, my mother-in-law, is saying many weird things happen on the train. Absolutely. Very, very strange things happen on the train. But we don't need to describe all of them. Let's see. Oh, another thing is standing outside for long periods of time. When I lived in Ipswich, it was great. You could sit in your car until the ding, 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 and the things would come down, and you could run up, you know, and be warm until the train actually pulled up. Not in North Beverly. That's too far of a walk. I wouldn't make the train in time. But people who are just on the subway, out on the Green Line, they stand out there for 25 minutes. Sometimes they have to watch 2 trains go by before they can get on that train, and it's cold. And so my coworker was wearing her snow boots the other day, and she took her 10 minutes for her feet to warm up. You know, when you've got your snow boots on and you can do all the preparation in the world, but sometimes you're standing outside, freezing cold. Sometimes the weather is below whatever. And I'm sure that if anyone from California does actually watch this, they go, why did you move there, Linda? Why do you even do that? But I still am enchanted by the seasonal changes. And I don't know if I'll be here for the rest of time, but it is pretty cool to watch things change. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, shoes. Oh my God. So yeah, when I did really start, I was, you know, again, I like clothes, I like shoes, I'm kind of vain, and I would wear the dumbest shoes, and I would do that walk from North Station, it was 28th State at the time, And that was just torture. I'm walking on brick with high heels and stupid things. I don't do that anymore. And thank God shoes are cooler now. Like you can have a pair of sneakers that actually looks okay with your work clothes. When I first started, I felt like that just wasn't possible. It's like you had to have this big ginormous like cross trainer shoe with like your work slacks, and it just, I couldn't handle it. But now there's just so many more options. I'm actually wearing right now my Uggs. Another thing, I can't pull my foot all the way up and I did not take them off, but Uggs are great for the cold. They are not good for the rain or the snow. They will soak up everything. So if it starts to melt, if it had really started to melt today, I probably would not have been in a great situation, but I definitely can't wear them on snow days. So even the number of shoes that one has to have in New England in order to do this commute thing, it's really, really crazy. And a lot of those big Sorel boots are not they're not very comfortable. I don't know what they're made for. Maybe only like shoveling the driveway, but to actually walk a mile in them, not so fun. So I've had to try some different things, and when it's actually, you know, snowing when we're walking in, but I do have some cool boots to handle that. I may end up doing another similar type of session like this. Again, I'm going to comment on any particular product that I have fallen in love with over the years. And Gail, if you weren't on when I said before, I'm still wearing the coat that you all got me more than 10 years ago. And I love it. And I like wearing things to death if they're of good quality. So I encourage people to buy quality things. Even the 27-year-old version of me who had no money and had a lot of debt should have spent a little bit of money on some of these things to make her life way more manageable. So do what you got to do to have a better experience, because then we show up better at work and we're better people overall. A lot of this is akin to skiing, right? All the stuff you have to have in order to have like a successful day of skiing. Even if you don't have your chapstick, it can kind of be a nightmare, or the Kleenex or whatever it is. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will put these things in the comments, and have a great night. Bye-bye.